Welcome, everybody. It's so good to have you here and being interested in what we're doing here in the Fire Safe Council world. I'd like to kind of introduce everybody or have them introduce themselves. So introduce yourself, find somebody in the list and pass it on to them. I will start with myself. I'm Giselle Nova with the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County. I am the coordinator. And Greg
Dinger, Manchester West.
Pass it to somebody.
Rachel
Smith. I'm the forest supervisor of the Klamath National Forest, and I will pass it to Jen Erickson.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Erickson. I'm the Forest Fire Prevention Officer on the Klamath National Forest. And I will pass it to Susie.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Susie Brady. I'm the Fire Prevention Specialist and Unit Information Officer for CAL FIRE Siskiyou, and I'll pass it on to the unit chief.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Hi, this is Daryl Laws. I'm the unit chief for CAL FIRE Siskiyou and also the Siskiyou County Fire Warden.
And Daryl, who would you like to pass it to?
Jeremy Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Johnson. I'm the pre-fire engineer in the Siskiyou unit. And I will pass it to Linda Sheben.
Oh, thank you. Linda Sheben here in Dunsmuir Fuels Mitigation Project and Fire Safe Group.
And Linda, who would you like to pass?
I will. Sorry. I'll pass it to Marie Mitchell.
There I am. I came on late. What are we doing?
Introducing yourself.
Oh, I'm Marie Mitchell, concerned citizen, Siskiyou County, part-time Butte County, involved in both places. So here I am.
So I'm going to pass it for you, Marie, since you just came on.
Thank you.
Pass it to Tyler.
Oops.
Hi, good evening. Tyler Averett, Emergency Management Program Manager for Pacific Power.
All right, Tyler, would you like to pass it to somebody?
Sure. I don't think Jessica Matthews is introduced yet.
Thank you. I'm Jessica Matthews. I'm the Program Director at the Mount Shasta Bioregional Ecology Center. And I will pass it on to Jasmine Borgatti.
Jasmine Borgatti, Chief Resilience Officer for Slater Fire Long-Term Recovery Group. And I'm not sure there's anybody left.
Well, I see a couple. There's Joseph Hott. Want to just pass Joey? It's your turn.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Hott with Black Mountain Fire Safe Council. And I'm not sure who else is on to pass it to.
I'll pass it for you. Marlene. Introduce yourself.
She's muted.
Yeah, she didn't hear me. So,
yeah, hi, I'm Marlene Ludlow. I was on mute. And okay. I just live here and try to do my part, not to burn down anything.
And I'm going to pass it to Nina.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nina Kamira. I'm from CORE, California Area Manager of Climate Resilience. We worked with, for those of you who don't know us, we worked with Siskiyou County and City of Dunsmuir to run a wildfire defense pilot project last year, and are going to be working with the team again, the Community Wildfire Defense Grant, once that's up and running. Hi, everybody. I'll pass it to Yosef.
Thanks, Nina. Hi, everyone. My name is Yosef Jalil. I'm the California Area Director for CORE. As Nina covered, an organization supporting emergency management and climate resilience programming across the state of California and beyond. And we're very happy to be here.
Right. And I think the only thing that's left is a number ending in 1193. Who does that belong to? Are you there? 1193. All right. Did I miss?
Hi, this is Eric with Siskiyou County Air Pollution Control District.
Oh, cool. Hi, Eric. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Well, we'll just get right started. And we'll start with Community Wildfire Defense Grant that we're working with CORE on. And thus far, we've heard no new news from the Forest Service as far as grants and agreements. I did call and they did tell me to be patient. So I'm going to be patient. I was also told that they are just taking a little longer because they're not used to this. They don't usually come out of the Washington office. It's usually done on a forest instead. So it's taking a little longer to get their selves lined up and all the paperwork lined up. So no real new news on that. So next thing, Worm Burner Golf Tournament. Jen, what did you think of it? You were there.
It was really fun, and it was a beautiful day. People were jazzed to be out there, and it was really well attended. I didn't realize there'd be that many people there, so I had a good time.
Susie, what's your take on it?
I agree with Jen. I think it was great for us to show our collaboration within the county of how we all work together on one mission and one goal, that fire prevention and getting that message out. So I think it was a huge success.
And so they did a little Channel 12 blurb on us, and we all had a chance to say something. I don't know if you girls saw it or not, but they featured what Susie said, and she said it again, just very, very precisely. So we debuted Ready Raccoon. My grandson actually got to be, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but they did the rap, and he did a real good job with that. And then we had like 160 golfers, and we had some silent auctions, some live auctions, some raffles. And I understand that there was some money raised for doing exactly what we're going to be doing with CORE, home hardening and defensible space. They don't know how much we've earned yet, but if we hadn't earned anything at all, it was a good event and we got the fire safe message out. It was, I think we did a good job. I think they did a good job. They did an excellent job. So, and I'm going to let Kristen in and she can say what she wants to say about it. But I think it was a success overall. And we had a little after action review with Rain Rock. And they found a couple of minor little things that we didn't even know were happening, little hitches and glitches that we didn't notice. So to me, it was, and if you don't notice it, does it matter? So anyway, Kristen, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry, let me mute because there's some background noise here.
That's all right. We're talking about Rain Rock. And everybody agreed, Jen and Susie, that it went very well. Do you have anything you would like to add about the Rain Rock event?
No, just that it was awesome. I mean, it was really incredible to have our partners show up in mass and pull out the mascots to rally with our new Ready Raccoon, and it was just a lot of fun, and I felt like it really built a lot of momentum and kind of just up the ante, I guess, and really created kind of a stronger community, sense of community and partnership between everyone involved, and got our message out farther and wider, and just kind of leveled up in a big way.
Yeah, it was great. So we'll move along because we don't want it to go too long tonight. CAL FIRE, do you have an update for us?
We'll start with Chief Laws and then I'll go.
All right, an update for us. So on next Monday, we'll move into peak staffing for the Siskiyou unit. And most units across the state will start on that day also on the 19th of June. Meaning we'll hire the rest of our seasonal firefighters on and staff up the remainder of our engines. So in the unit, we'll be at 13 engines. 2 dozers. Our crews will be staffed, and basically our summertime staffing for the rest of the year. July 1st, we'll bring on our exclusive use Type 1 copter out at Siskiyou County Airport, and that'll be staffed through the summer, and it usually gets extended into the fall, November-ish, late October or November, I think here. As far as, so we haven't banned burning yet on SRA lands with the weather that we received this winter, and then so the residents can take advantage of the extra time, is that we're looking at a proclamation on July 1st to suspend burning.
Oh boy. Okay.
What else? Let me think here. I'm sure that a lot of you have seen the work that's being done up on the Wairika Ridge project. There's been through the Shasta Valley RCD. If you haven't, if you're driving up I-5, look off to your left, and they've been running a tiger cat masticator up on the Humbug Ridge there, and it looks great. They've opened that up, and with the threat last year from McKinney, it's a great addition to protect that community, and we have several other projects throughout the county that we're working on. I think on Monday, we're also going to be doing some burning out in the Montague area, small area there. We burned over in the Butte Valley the week prior, and we're just trying to take advantage of, as much as we can, of the later start this year, and trying to get some more acres treated. So I'll pass it off to Susie, and she can add some more to it, or if anybody has any questions for me.
Just a couple more things, like Chief said, fireworks, 4th of July is coming up. It's around the corner. For those who don't know, the county does have a ban on fireworks in Siskiyou County, so no fireworks are allowed. So please help us pass that message along. We are working with our city officials to see which cities will be banning them as well, but we do know for sure that there is an ordinance in the county, so no safe and sane. That means you can't play with your sparklers in the county. Those are absolutely illegal. So just make sure you pass that news. If you have any questions, I'll put my phone number in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. And then I will turn it over to my partner, Jeremy, to talk about grants and stuff.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the wildfire prevention grants. As of the 31st of May, the grants were being reviewed at the region level and off to Sacramento. So, obviously that was 2 weeks ago. I haven't got an update since the 31st, but I can only assume that if they're not already sitting in Sacramento on someone's desk, then they'll be there shortly. And then we're going to get back to the normal grant cycle, which will happen in the fall, most likely in October. And so just work through your local battalion chiefs with the projects they've already identified as the priority projects in the unit. And then these projects can also be found in the unit fire plan. And when I'm done here, I will put a link in the chat to the fire plan website and the CAL FIRE grants website. And then the last item of business, our state responsibility area fire hazard severity zones are moving through the final review process, and they're going to be rolling out June 26th. And Chief Laws had informed me that Friday they're going to have another meeting, so there'll be more things to talk about regarding the fire hazard severity zones at our next meeting time. End of report.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. Anybody else from CAL FIRE? So we'll move on to our next partners, Forest Service. Rachel?
I think I'll go ahead and go first, and then I'll pass it over to Rachel, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess the first thing that I want to talk about is that we've had 15 lightning fires in the last couple weeks, most of which have been on the Goose Nest and Oak Knoll areas. I think the largest one was just under 1.5 acres. So we're flying recons every day. We actually have an IR flight ordered for tomorrow. So that's a heat detecting fixed wing that will be flying over the forest to see if we have any other holdovers out there. Before the lightning started, and maybe a little bit in between some of the storms, we did get some prescribed burning done over on the Goose Nest Ranger District. They did 60 acres of underburning over at the Van Bremer project, which is just west of the Four Corners Snowmobile Park. They also were able to take advantage of the wet conditions at higher elevations, and they burned 115 acres of piles up by Martin's Dairy. So we're kind of in a sweet spot right now where it's still good conditions for prescribed burning. We are picking up fires, but they're staying small. So we're still in that prescribed burning window, but most of our folks lately have been taking care of lightning fires. So let's see. In other prescribed burning news, Scott Bar Mountain got 370 acres of underburning done out there. So that's north of Fort Jones, and that's actually tied into a series of ridgetop fuel reduction projects. So it's beautiful, actually. I'm gonna try and put some pictures into the chat for you guys to see. Let's see, all of our firefighting resources are on and fully certified, except for our helicopter crew. Their first helicopter comes on tomorrow, and the second one comes on next week, after which they will become certified and available for fighting fire. So those are 2 Type 3 helicopters. Our Type 1 helicopter, contract helicopter, will be coming on around July 15th is generally when we bring them on, and they sit out at Siskiyou. If we need them earlier, we can bring them on earlier. And then, of course, our air attack platform is up and has been flying every day doing recons. Let's see, I guess other than that, we've been able to send a couple of our resources out of the area to help with prescribed fire on the Stanislaus National Forest. So one of our Happy Camp, the hand crew from Happy Camp Crew 2, they're down there helping with some large scale burn operations. And then we sent an engine to the Six Rivers National Forest this afternoon for a few fires that they've got over there. And that is the end of my report. I'll pass it over to Rachel.
Thank you, Jen. So I don't have too much to add. I wanted to mention again our wildfire crisis strategy. So we got a substantial amount of funding in the last year, and specifically in the last 3 months, to be able to address wildfire crisis strategy issues across the Klamath National Forest and really around Northern California and Southern Oregon. So that's been pretty exciting for us. We're going to have another opportunity in a couple of months to ask for future funding. And the focus around that is around outcomes. They're looking for safer communities. So this feels like it's a perfect tie-in with all of the fire safe councils. And I wanted to mention that that's been very much on our minds. The second thing I wanted to mention was that our CWDG grants we're expecting to open pretty soon. And those are expected, I think our Community Wildfire Defense Grant Program is supposed to be within the next couple of weeks. We're hoping in July, potentially for 90 days. And we are planning on a workshop to assist with the applications. So please look for an email about a workshop to help with applications. But that's been a really great opportunity for our area of the world recently. That's all I have to add. Just wanted to say hello to everybody and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. So next is, and I'd like to talk to you about the CWDG sometime soon and see how you guys were able to move seamlessly with that.
Actually, Giselle, I was gonna jump in and just ask if either Jen or Rachel wanted to put another plug in for the rack. kind of recruiting or give more background information if folks, aren't too familiar with it. Like myself, I was kind of drilling Jen on the phone yesterday because it's new to me, but it seems like an opportune time with people on the line here to put that out there if you guys are trying to recruit for that.
Sure. I never want to pass up an opportunity to recruit for our RAC. So Siskiyou RAC is currently inactive. We need a minimum number of members in certain categories to be able to stand up our RAC. Until we're able to stand up the RAC group, we do have the funding that basically sits in stasis. But once we have the RAC group in place, they're actually able to evaluate proposals and select individuals and entities that would receive proposals. So I think we sent out an email last month with information about applying for the RAC, but that's available on our website. And hypothetically, if anyone's interested, please email Jen or myself, and we can send you out the information on how to apply. We're very interested in recruiting new members.
Can you give a little bit more background for people like myself? Like I said, that it's new to me. I don't really understand the framework or the structure of it, and who is eligible to apply, who are you looking for, kind of what is the structure and function, I guess.
Sure. And so Jen Erickson put this in the chat already, and sorry, I don't think I know you, Kristen. Can you tell me who you are and where you're from, just so I can know who I'm
sorry.
talking to?
Yeah, I'm more visible. It's my 5-year-old son's birthday, and we're actually out on Lake Shasta with my family celebrating his birthday. So I'm on a boat on Lake Shasta right now. So usually I'm taking notes and have my video on and more professional. Sorry. I am Giselle's administrative assistant for the Fire Safe Council of Siskiyou County.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to know who I was talking to. So the RACs are a Recreation Resource Advisory Committee. And this is just one of the many ways that we have opportunities to get money down to the local area. And the thing that I think is special about the RACs is they give you an opportunity to speak about what you're interested in, evaluate proposals, and then the RAC members actually themselves are the ones that get to decide yay or nay whether something fits the color of money basically that we have funding for. And the focus is around just opportunities for recreation fee proposals. And you can basically have an opportunity to look at essentially all of the requests that have been made locally around the area, just determine if they fit the categories. There's a few different categories of individuals that are serving on the RAC committee. And we can send out an email with who we're currently looking for. Right now, we do lack the minimum composition to be able to stand up the RAC, which is why it's currently inactive. It was active as of just a couple of months ago, but we had a couple of people who cycled off the committee and were no longer able to remain participating. So for folks who might be interested, those emails, I realize we might be getting to the point that we are getting a little bit annoying with the emails on this, but if you know somebody who'd be interested, we'd be very glad to hear from you. So Kimberly Duvall, Jen Erickson, myself, any of us would be great people to contact.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So moving on, I'm going to talk about Shasta Valley RCD and the Prescribed Burn Association together. So our go-to on that is Lindsay Lychek. And Lindsay's taken a new position. She wrote us, she said, you might have heard through the grapevine, I've taken a job with Nature Conservancy as their Northern California Prescribed Fire Burn Specialist. Anyway, it's bittersweet. I've been grateful to work with you. And she said that she's going to be replaced by somebody sometime soon. So Shasta Valley, we work pretty close with them, doing a lot of different things. And is she here? No. Is there anybody here from the RCD? So anyway, we congratulate her on the new position, and she's going to still be around to help us out, just in a different capacity. So any comments on that? So Scott River Watershed, anybody here for that? Bioregional, Jessica.
Yes, hello. So as far as updates go on our end, we don't have any immediate plans for boots on the ground or fuel reduction work with our sub-communities currently, but we're looking at getting those launched again in the fall. So we'll be in contact with you guys about partnering and, seeing who's available to assist with that as well. But in the realm of community education, we have our useful plants during fire season talk by Renee Camila. Not sure if any of you attended last year, but it's more of a holistic approach to how to self-care during fire season. So that's something that's coming up in the near future.
You sent out a nice little newsletter. I just received it here recently, so that was good too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Sierra Nevada Conservancy, anybody here from that today? Siskiyou County OES? Speak up if you're here. Supervisor Nancy, are you here? Didn't see her. Red Cross, Joe? Didn't see him. Pacific Power?
No updates from us tonight, Giselle. Thanks.
Okay. Good to have you here, Tyler. Jim Patterson of NRCS. Anybody from NRCS? No. Air quality, Eric.
Hi, this is Eric Olson with Siskiyou County Air Pollution Control District. We have good news is we have another full-time air pollution specialist on staff, and we also have been given assistance from the Siskiyou County Department of Agriculture's new GIS specialist, who, time permitting, can give us an extra hand as needed. We are still here to support prescribed burning. Obviously, we're in the fire season. We gratefully, with the extra hands on deck, we can continue to offer support to our colleagues in prescribed burning. And just a reminder, for those projects that are over 10 acres, we still require a smoke management plan, and we're available to help our collaborators to complete smoke management plans and get a smoke management burn permit to go along with permits you may need from your local fire agency or CAL FIRE in state responsibility areas. Also, with our partners in forestry, both private, federal, state, and organizations like Prescribed Burn Associations, we're here and we're equipped to assist with monitoring your prescribed fire. We're funded by the state to do that. And as we enter into the drier fire season, which I, like everyone else, really like this weather pattern we're in right now with the frequent high relative humidity and precipitation. And my fingers are crossed that this continues and we might get some more before the end of the month. So we're gearing up to transition from prescribed fire monitoring to have our equipment ready should the need arise to do wildfire smoke monitoring. So naturally, I'd rather do prescribed fire monitoring and show what good it does with the low smoke impacts as a result of controlled burning versus wildfire burning. If you have any questions, please contact the Air District, and we'll do our best to answer those and work with you for any needs you may have for permitting smoke, prescribed fires, or work with you towards permitting air curtain incinerators, or whatever your needs are or questions are. That's all from me, unless there are questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Eric. That's very informative. And we've captured some of that and maybe getting in contact with you as needed. So, all right, we'll move on to the sheriffs or CHP. Anybody here from there? Now, next is the Stevens funding, which is available through each forest. And currently, I don't know if that's open. I heard that it's ongoing. You just write your proposal and submit it, and they will put it where it needs to go when the time comes, but I'm not sure. So Jen or Rachel, what do you know about Stevens funding, and is it open or not?
I was just talking with our fuels planner today, and Rachel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't sound like there's anything open per se, but I think that discussions about possible potential projects are always welcome. That's about what I know about it. Rachel, have you got anything to add?
No. Well, we'll keep you updated as we learn. We've gotten several fuel reduction projects through that tool, and it's awesome to work with. It's very easy and simple to do, and I really appreciate that concerning Stevens funding. So let's move on to local fire safe councils. We'll start with Black Mountain. What do you have to report?
Yeah, hi, this is Joseph Hott with Black Mountain. I haven't done too much out in the Black Mountain country, but the past 2-3 weeks, I've been doing a lot of fuel reduction programs, taking them on for Big Springs and A12 area on, I believe it is Modoc Road. I've gained a lot of homeowners that have contacted me to do some fuel reduction programs, doing some weed whacking and brush removal and things like that. And I approximately done probably up to anywhere from 10 to 15 acres worth of just weed whacking for homeowners for out in that area. And just another thing to update, coming up here in July, we're coming up on the 5th year of our 5th year anniversary of the Climathon fire. Hornbrook is, I haven't gotten a date back yet from that, but they usually have like a little miniature carnival get together. They set up a whole bunch of booths and they just all get together and have a good day with family out and supporting Hornbrook and all the victims of the Climathon fire. And so that's coming up sometime in July. I have not heard back on what date that will be. And other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Joey. Joey does a lot of good work out there, and we really appreciate him for all he does. So Butte Valley, Kathy, are you on? Kathy Derby? She's trying to connect to the audio. So let's come back to her. Copco Lake, nothing new. Dunsmuir, Linda.
Yes, this is Linda in Dunsmuir. We've been mostly working on the Dunsmuir Fuels Mitigation Project that we're working with Giselle on. That's a wildfire prevention grant. And we're starting the CEQA, which is exciting. We've been getting the landowner agreements in, and Giselle, I've been working with the CEQA gal. They're doing some walkthrough on some of the larger parcels tomorrow.
Oh,
and
good.
we're going to try to organize a face-to-face with you and whoever the CAL FIRE CEQA person is, which I don't know who that is, but the folks from Vestra, Christine and myself will probably be contacting you about that.
Okay, yeah, that's Jeremy Ravenscroft.
Okay,
So,
we want to invite him to, because we do need to talk about some barriers and challenges in Dunsmuir. And it would be good to have a face-to-face maybe at our fire hall with our chief as well.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about, is that tomorrow?
No, the walkthrough, no, they're just looking at properties tomorrow. We'll organize a meeting for a following week.
Okay,
or next
that sounds
week.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So that's going well. That's exciting. We're doing a little bit more outreach because it's very tough to get people to sign up. But it's progressing. We received a small grant from the Ford Family Foundation to test out a neighborhood engagement project. I may have mentioned this before, but we did get this grant. We're going to try to work with a few neighborhoods just to get more neighbors involved and help them get proactive and kind of test out, kind of like what Jessica does with her sub communities in Mount Shasta. We're looking at trying to get some neighborhood engagement to prepare people to become more proactive and to test out to see if we could do a neighborhood chipping program in Dunsmuir and a few more neighborhood work parties. So that's going on. And our group's been kind of rethinking our scope. We're meeting monthly, and there's a lot of interest in really looking at our Upper Sacramento region. So we're thinking of an actual fire safe group that includes Castella as well. So that discussion is going on, and that has a lot of benefits in terms of collaborating with Castella being in Shasta County, but it also has some challenges too. So we're discussing that. I think it has a lot of, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for us to expand to include our partners in Castella, because our volunteer fire department is also a Dunsmuir Castella Fire Department. And I want to thank Kristen. We had a great event in Dunsmuir on Tuesday. Ready Raccoon was there and the kids went crazy. I know we have some pictures maybe we'll share in the chat, but the fire department came out and they did a water day for the last day of school at the elementary school in Dunsmuir. And Ready Raccoon did his rap and the dance, and the kids just loved it. It's a very, very successful event.
Awesome.
Well, and we got to give credit where credit is due. Giselle's 13-year-old grandson is really stepping up and saving the day, being in the Ready Raccoon mascot costume. So thank you, Giselle, for recruiting him, because otherwise it would be me.
I didn't know he could dance like that. He's going to have to teach grandma how. So
anyway, that's it for me in Dunsmuir. Thank you.
Well, Linda, you do an awesome job. She's the project manager out there, and you'd think she's been doing this for the last 20 years. She's really good. Really appreciate you and your skills, and Kristen as well, and Kathleen. Awesome group. All righty. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna move back to Butte Valley. Kathy Derby, are you on?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Would you like to give us an update on what y'all have been doing out there?
Well, we have started trying to get more volunteers to get involved with the Bray project and the subdivision. We do have a couple signups to get involved to have their property cleaned. Some of the outskirts of the town, there's some more people that are wanting to get involved and do some cleanup around their property, and they want to be the part of. And we're also looking at actually going to talk to some of the Hmongs that's behind our subdivision. They're actually in the subdivision, and we're looking at trying to get maybe an escape route for the back of the subdivision and Antelope Road. The back here, there's no way to get out if there's a fire. There's only one way in and way out. That's how the subdivision is designed. And the backside is a forestry. We did talk to them once before when we've had the first phase, and they were okay with it. They like the idea that they can get out. We haven't talked to them. It's been a few years. I think it's close to 5 years. I'm not sure. I have to look at the numbers. And also and behind Bray, the area back in there that we wanted to see if we can add to. So we have been discussing it, and we won't know yet. I believe NEPA has to go out and do the landscape again.
I think the NEPA's fine. We might have to go do some archaeology, but we'll talk to the
Okay.
Forest Service about that, but yeah. Here's Kristen. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So anyway, and you've also had a meeting out there recently,
Yes, we
right?
did. Yes, we did. In my home, we had meetings, getting people back involved in it, and trying to get them to get the feel for, because we haven't had a meeting in a few years, and we wanted to get it activated again. So we're working on that. We also was talking to the people in Doris. They were concerned about some of their areas being a cleanup. They had a town cleanup about a month ago, and it took out a lot of trash and stuff. There are a couple of people are still not be able to physically clean their area up. And so I talked to the mayor, and she's gonna look into that and see if they can help them. Her name is Karen, and she's
right.
So we've done a little bit of that. It's kind of a slow process, but it's coming along.
You're doing great. Kathy is another go-getter. That's why she's the leader of the Fire Safety Council out there. And when we did the first phase, she was on her little forerunner going up and down the street, making sure everything was done right. And she did an awesome job. She's quite the gal. So thank you, Kathy, for all you do as well.
Thank you.
Moving on, let's see.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Okay, the areas that have been cleaned up from the first phase. There's a house has still trees 100 feet. The second phase, can they go back in on some of the first phase and do a little bit more cleanup?
That's something we'll have to talk to the Forest Service about, because the grant's through them, and see how much we can bend the proposal and make that work, but that's a possibility. So, but we will talk to our manager there and see if they will agree to that. So, yeah.
I have another question.
Sure.
On Red Rock, we were talking about a fire tank, water holding tanks. That proposal that we brought up to you, do you foresee it happening?
Well, we've gotten several tanks through RAC, and RAC is not active right now. So if we want to write a Stevens for it, I don't know how they look at tanks. I know RAC likes them. So all we can do is write it and propose it and see what happens,
Because there has been fires out there, and there was just one recently out there, and Cal Fires tells me that they have to go, takes them about 8 to 10 miles one way just to get water in a tank and then go back again.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No,
So
it
there's
would be good. And that would all be put in the proposal as an argument for why you need one. We just have to wait till there is a funding source that opens up that will support tanks. So,
well, and that means spread the word about recruiting folks to get on the RAC committee. And if you haven't gotten that email, Kathy, we can forward that on to you, because that's the holdup right now, is that we don't have a RAC committee. We don't have enough people to meet the minimum requirements for the RAC committee to start taking proposals and distributing the money that's there. So the money's just sitting there. Is the way is, correct me if I'm wrong, Jen or Rachel, but that's the way I understand it, that there's this money in the pipeline. There's money that cannot be distributed until there is a RAC committee. So that's why we're hoping to recruit folks.
Okay, for when am I calling it a tank correctly, Or is it
Yeah.
a tower? Is it a
It's a
tank?
with 10,000 gallon water tank or 2 5,000 gallon ones. And we've got a concrete one in Doris, outside of Doris already. We've got one in Hammond's Ranch. We've got one in Scott Valley. They're each a little different. There's two concrete ones and one metal one. And so it all depends on the place and the placing of it, what we're going to get. But we usually ask for 10,000 gallons, whether it's in one unit or two units. So unless you need more, then that's something we need to discuss with the fire department. So
Okay, and another question, why is it called RAT? Is it
it's
abbreviation?
Resource Advisory Council. It's Title II monies that came from lost timber receipts. So back in the day when the Forest Service pulled out of the woods a lot, didn't completely, but a lot, pulled out a lot, and mills started shutting down and jobs were lost, they stepped up and started putting money back into the community through a process called Title II and Title III. The Title III funds go right to the county itself for their what would have been taxes on timber receipts, and Title II money goes to citizens in the county who want to apply for projects. So RAC stands for Resource Advisory Committee, and that's the 15 people that step up and volunteer to be on the committee and to make the decisions. So citizens put in their proposals for whatever it is they think. It doesn't have to be fire related. It has to be community related, natural resource related, and then they make the decision. And so there's, I think, 5 people in each category. There's political, environmental, something else. There's several little groups of people that are involved on that committee, and they make those decisions once you submit a proposal. But as Kristen said, we currently do not have a committee of, I believe it's 15 people, and we need to get more recruited.
Okay. Okay. I understand. Well, it should be really important if we can get this going, because we do get a lot of fires in that area. It's a hot spot for up in Siskiyou County, in our area, in our Division 5 up here. Yeah, there was a few already, like a couple weeks ago. So
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, and good questions. Moving on then to no Greater Reed, no Hammonds. If I pass you over, let me know. Happy Camp. Mike's not here. Horse Creek's not here. Juniper Flat. They're moving forward. They had to go back in. So some area that they treated, they went back, and the junipers in that area, several trees have died. So they've had to go back over it. And if I'm not mistaken, how CAL FIRE did it, it says they can count that as extra acres. They need to get all those dead junipers out of there. I don't know why they died, but they did. So they had to go back. And Margie King is working fast and furious to get all this done, and it's very commendable what she's doing. So Klamath River, if you have anything you want to say anybody about it, just step up. I think Kristen was helping Yvonne with some stuff. So
yeah, she had mentioned they were getting in the planning phases, when she came to our last meeting, asked for support and resources on the planning process for the Klamath Long-Term Fire Recovery Committee that was planning some sort of community event for June. And I've emailed her and called her and left some messages and haven't heard back. So we're trying to give her that support. Just need to hear back from her so we can do that. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Kristen, for working with her. I appreciate that. So Lake Shastina, I don't think they're here, but they have a grant very similar to Dunsmuir, and it was a CEQA was the main thing we were trying to get done out there, only to discover that CAL FIRE has a different, I don't know how new it is, it's very new to me, vegetation treatment plan, a VTP. So we recently met with CAL FIRE foresters, and we're going to go that way. We're going to do a vegetation treatment plan. We're advertising it for 6,000 acres. So an environmental impact report or something like that. It's already been done on all of California state lands. So this, you just have to do a few more things. But if you're going to treat the land, you're going to need to do archaeology on those areas. So it might be more expedited. I'm not sure. I know it's more far reaching. There's more things you can do with a VTP than you can with a CEQA. And so we've decided to pursue that in Lake Shastina. Any questions? All right. So Lower Scott River, anybody? McLeod? Mount Shasta area, we have Old Stage Road project, and we have done several acres, but we're going to get back on that starting either the end of this week or the first part of next week, as long as the fire season stays off a bit. Otherwise, we will have to hold until fall or until fire season is over completely. So,
Giselle?
yeah.
Hi, you mentioned somewhere along the line about doing something, so we became, I don't know, something so the insurance companies would have to consider us like safe.
A reduction, yeah. That's Firewise Communities. And Firewise Communities, just to back up a little bit, have been around for a long time. When they came to California, CAL FIRE grabbed hold of it and created fire safe councils instead. And in the past, there wasn't much reason to do both. But now there is, and that's because as of the first of the year, January 1st, 2023, insurance companies have been mandated to reduce your premiums if you are certified Firewise community. And that's 10 to 25% that they may reduce your premiums. What you have to do is to get at least 8 people in a neighborhood to get together and follow. You can get it online, firewise.org, I think it is. And you have to do a few things. You have to have some meetings. You have to have some fuel reduction done within the past year, or have done something within the past year. You can look and see what it is and fill out the application and send it to CAL FIRE. CAL FIRE is going to be in charge of this. Our guy locally is out of Sacramento is Shane Vargas, and we can work with you to work you through this, Marlene. And if you get certified as a Firewise community, you can then call up your insurance broker and say, look what we've got. Can you reduce our premiums? And as I understand it, that's supposed to happen. Kristen, what do you have on that?
There we go. You pretty much covered it. Yeah. That's the gist of it. The state insurance department has now made it legally mandated that all insurance companies take that Firewise USA designation into account when they calculate your wildfire risk score, which is what determines your premium rate and whether or not you get dropped. And so that's, basically when you get that designation, like Giselle said, you go through the process, which can take, a couple months to do. But once you get it, you call up your insurance company and say, here's the documentation. Please recalculate my wildfire risk score. And now, as of January, they legally have to in California. So that's a really big step that it's unprecedented. As far as I understand it, we're the only state that has taken such a big step in that direction. So it's a really big deal. The state's kind of starting to get a handle on this insurance situation that we're a lot of us personally, or our neighbors, everyone we know is kind of dealing with, getting dropped and having astronomical premiums. So.
But meanwhile, aren't they dropping, like Allstate apparently isn't insuring anybody new, and State Farm, I think it is, or Farmers, one of those, are dropping people. So wouldn't they just drop people as opposed to lowering the rates?
Sometimes they're doing that, but you can keep them from doing that, and you can get it back if you've lost it, possibly through forming a Firewise community. And I sent out, or I'm posting a video. We had a meeting. It's an advocacy company. It's a 5013C that's advocating for us as insurers. And they are, hang on just a minute. Why I don't know why I can't think of their name.
United Policyholders.
Yes, United Policyholders. Thank you, Kristen. Have had a meeting, and they have a PowerPoint that they shared just today. You can look at what you can do to make it all happen so you don't get dropped. And they've got some ideas and some helps, and that should be posted on our website and on our Facebook soon. And I can also send it to a email list. So, yeah.
Excuse me.
Thank you. That'd be terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from
I
what
have
we've
a-
heard from all of the, experts in the field, long time, actually, I happened to be in the right place at the right time on a friend's property who's on the California Fair Plan, who had the local, veteran insurance agent, was, a 70-year resident of Mount Shasta, 50-year veteran insurance broker, showed up at their property as a consultant that's hired by the California Fair Plan to inspect their property. And so I got to have this great conversation with him, and he explained to me that the way it works with the insurance companies in California is that it's a real boom bust cycle. It's the most lucrative market in the nation, but it's also the highest risk market in the nation. So they're very reactive. They'll, say, oh my gosh, we're dropping everyone, or we're not renewing policies, or both. And they pull out, and then 6 months later they're back because they can't stay away because it's so lucrative. So it's this very funny cycle that the pendulum swings back and forth. And so and then coupled with what we've heard with Shane Vargas, who Giselle mentioned is the CAL FIRE staff that's in charge of the FireWise USA applications. He's actually based in Reading. And he has basically told us that if you have some, what you can tell people is if they have gotten dropped, so they're on the California Fair Plan, your best bet, your golden ticket back into the insurance market is getting this FireWise USA designation. Then because of that boom bust cycle with the insurance companies, you get this FireWise USA designation, then you basically have to really take action on your part and say every 3 to 6 months, they say to take the few hours and call every single insurance company and say, are you insuring in California? Here's my FireWise designation. Will you insure me? And they say, if you do that, then you're going to get reinsured on a normal plan and get off the California Fair Plan. So that's what we've been told so far. That's what we know.
I'm going to drop in chat the link to that PowerPoint.
Right.
I'm just checking to make sure that it works. So it seems like it does. So here we go. Chat.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, there's the link to that PowerPoint and to that presentation. And it'll give you some real good info to work off of. So.
Thank you. And I can get to that chat later, right? I don't have to.
No, once it's gone, it's gone. But Marlene, I'll send that to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you send that to me too, please?
Sure. Well, let's move on and I'll do that.
Hey, Giselle, it's Susie. Can I say something really quick?
Sure.
I just want to let folks know that make sure you understand that they have to they consider you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will get lowered or you will get picked back up. I want to make sure that everyone understands that it's a consideration.
Yes.
It's not 100% guaranteed. And that sometimes gets misconstrued when we have different meetings. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that.
Good clarification. Thanks, Susie. So anyway, I will go ahead and send that. And let's move on.
Giselle, can I add one thing? This is Linda.
Sure.
I've been working with Shane Vargas a little bit, and it's James Osbo in Siskiyou County that he has designated as our Siskiyou County contact for FireWise. So
Okay.
he's a CAL FIRE employee, and he's going to be doing the FireWise. He'll be involved. You can invite him. You can talk to him.
Oh,
You can also
great.
talk to Shane, but James Osbo is the contact.
And
All
just so
right.
you know, he is out of Reading also with Shane Vargas. He's not out of our Siskiyou office. So if you call the Siskiyou headquarters, they won't know what you're talking about. So
Okay.
make sure that we put him in there. He's out of the Reading office. He works with Shane Vargas.
Thanks, Susie.
Any other comments? This is important stuff, so I don't want to go too fast with it. It's very timely for what we're living in and for insurance fails for homeowners. So we want to make it work. All right.
Giselle,
Yeah.
I have California Fair Plan because my insurance did get dropped, but I had to get two insurance. I have one for the fires and one for my personal belongings too.
Okay.
So, California Fair Plan only protects the, your home, your outside, but it doesn't protect any of your personal belongings.
And that was one of the points they did make, is that you might have to consider, in order to get house insurance and be able to afford it, you might have to drop the personal belonging part of that. So anyway, you can listen to it. I'm going to try to get it out there to all of you soon. So, all right, where am I at? All right. Quartz Valley, I'm going to put Quartz Valley, Salmon River, Syad Valley, Wairika, anybody on from any of those places? Okay, well, we sure appreciate you all. Anybody else, others present, anybody have something they want to say concerning FireWise and fire safe in their communities? And now we're in open forum. Anybody have any anything they want to talk about in open forum? Wow, you guys.
I just want to say thank you for being here.
Oh,
I really appreciate all the effort that all of you put out, and especially you, Giselle.
oh well, it's a team effort. I wish I could claim credit. I just am the voice. So there's
It's a good voice.
There's a lot of people working on this all together. I don't know what I would do without our partners. It's a team effort for sure. And I've got to say thank you to my assistant. She just keeps me on top of everything. So anyway, I guess that's it. Next meeting is June 14th. And if there's something you want to put on the agenda, if there's somebody you want to hear from, a
This is
special
June
speaker.
14th today.
Oh, June 14th. I forgot to change it. Let me see. Yeah. So it will be, see what I'm talking about, Marlene? I need help. Let's see.
It's okay. I get it. Believe me.
It will be July 12th.
Okay.
Okay.
July 12th, same place, same station. And we would love to hear from any of you. And again, if you have somebody you would like to hear from or subject that you would like to talk about concerning fire safe, please email me or text me and I'll do my best to fill that spot. So, all right, you guys.
Giselle, I got one open forum thing that I want to bring up that we can start talking about in the future for northern part of Siskiyou County. That's a really big concern, especially with all of us just talking about insurance claims and things like that. I have a lot of concerns, and I know a lot of my community does, up here in the KRCE, Hornbrook, Hilt area. And this actually even goes for the Forest Service and CAL FIRE side. I'm very concerned here in the next near future with our dam removal project that is already ongoing here in the next few future years of fire seasons. What our goal is with losing our dams, with our aircraft not having the water sources, and also talking about the RAC programs of not, like I said, not having the water resources with water tanks, water supply. Basically, it would cover the whole entire Klamath River corridor, all the way from the Iron Gate, basically all the way down to Happy Camp, with not having the river access water for our aircraft to dip from, except like down Happy Camp, Orleans, and all that area, where they have high mountain country, mountain lakes. They get okays once they go through the loops to get okays to dip from. But what kind of routes can we start looking at to get water sources out here to save homes with this issue that we're talking about with losing insurances, when we start losing hundreds of homes with not having that water supply for the aircraft to dip from. And with Hornbrook after the Klamathon fire, I have not heard back, but up behind the Hornbrook CAL FIRE, I know we have lost one of our main storage tanks, and Hornbrook does not have that good of water supply in our hydrant system. So what could we do in the near future kind of program?
Well, that's something we could get a group or a panel together to talk about. Do any of the agencies, Forest Service, CAL FIRE, or fire departments that might be on here, do you have any words to the wise or wise words to us that have these questions?
Hey, Giselle, this is Daryl.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Daryl.
Hey, so the Klamath River Renewal Corporation that's doing the dam removal has partnered with the Siskiyou County Fire Chiefs Association. They purchased a couple water tenders for the northern Siskiyou County area, and they also purchased some tanks, and then they're installing dry hydrants along the Klamath River up in the Copco and Hornbrook area. And then the boat ramp access will be to the river. The river's not it shouldn't dry up. Well, at least they're telling us that there's going to be at least 750 CFS minimum in the river at any time. It is going to be we are losing 2 lakes that were very instrumental in, the last 25 years of being able to fight fire in the
Correct.
area. So we're still working through that, and we have more aircraft here in Siskiyou County than we've had in the past. Between the Forest Service and us, we have 4 rotary aircraft. We have tankers that are available in Medford, Klamath Falls, Redding, and both Rachel and I have committed to aggressive initial attack on all fires, and our goal is always to catch them in the first burn period and try to keep them 10 acres or less 95% of the time. So business as usual as far as suppression and fighting fire in that area.
For that, Daryl. Thank you for that, Daryl. And if y'all want to be a panel next time around to talk about it, to relieve some of the fears and some of the anxiety associated with losing those lakes, that would be great too. How soon would you be getting those hydrants in, you think?
Yeah, so once they start to let the lakes down, they'll be installing them. So I think they're starting removing the water next year and in 2024. And they're already up there working and preparing for the removals. I mean, it's a done deal. It's going to happen. And so this was they're trying to compromise and trying to bring something positive to the county from there and alleviate that loss from the lakes. Personally, I think that having a lake that's a half-mile wide is a pretty good fire stop. So things are going to change, and we're going to have to do some other things. The other thing they're doing is putting up a camera on Black Mountain, or on not Black Mountain, on Paradise Craggy, one at our lookout site, and they should be installing that this summer. So and then on the Oregon side, they're putting in a couple detection cameras that look down in the area. So we should.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and okay. I could give you a contact, and I can't get it right now, but I could get you a contact from KRRC, and maybe they could come to our next meeting on July 12th.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Good. That would be awesome, Daryl, because I do have a lot of community members out here that I do my Fire Safe Council that are very concerned about the water issues. Actually, the whole entire Hornbrook, and like you said, northern part of Siskiyou County is really concerned with this dam removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
All righty. Well,
Okay, thank you. And I gotta
any
take
other
off.
comments? Thanks, Daryl. I sure appreciate it. And yeah, if you can get me that contact information, maybe we put together a little panel to talk about that issue. That would be great.
Yep, we can do that.
All right. Any everybody good? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate all of you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. See you next time.